Greetings. Today we begin a message which will probably be the first of series of messages on the names of God. There is a primary name of God in relation to his redemptive relationship to man, which is the name Jehovah. It appears in compound form many times in the Old Testament. There are 7 primary ones which we will study, but today I want to begin in the book of Jeremiah chapter 2. There is a Hebrew name. I will not try to pronounce it for you, but it translates Jehovah, the fountain of living waters. In Jeremiah 2:13, God says, "For my people have committed 2 evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out them cisterns, broken cisterns, which can hold no water." Again in Jeremiah 17:13, he says, "O Lord, the hope of Israel, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken the Lord, the fountain of living waters." God, through Jeremiah the prophet, uses a universal metaphor to teach Israel a principle. Jehovah is the fountain of living waters, and yet Israel had forsaken him. Jehovah is the fountain. The Old Testament word is Strong's number 04726, and it means a spring or fountain. The New Testament word is Strong's 4077, Peggy. It's a fountain or source. 2, it tells us that Jehovah is the living fountain, the lively, the alive one, and God lives and makes us alive. And 3, it tells us that Jehovah is the water. Man needs physical water to live, and God is the spiritual water that man must have to survive also. 4, it tells us that God is the fountain of living waters. God is not a fountain, implying that he is one of many choices. Rather, God is the definite article, the particular fountain, the only fountain from which we may find this source. Isaiah 44 and verse 3 says, "For I will pour out water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour out my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring." Since God is the source of this fountain of living waters, it means he is the exclusive sort. So let's carefully consider the following facts. The first fact we want to consider is that all of mankind needs this fountain of living water. God has promised to give to all those who are thirsty, and all men have a spiritual thirst that only God can quench. God made Adam in such a way as to be able to fellowship with God. But Adam sinned of his own free will, forsaking God when he sinned. Thus Adam was guilty of destroying the sweet fellowship that he enjoyed with God. Now all men are descendants of Adam. They did not evolve from animals, and as such they are specific creations made in the image of God. As every man is born into the human race, he is born into this condition. Sin has put a barrier between man and his God, as described in the book of Isaiah chapter 59, verses 1 and 2, where it says, "Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities, your sins, and your trespasses have separated." It means to have caused a division between you and your God. "And your sins have hid his face from you that he will not hear." The sad fact that as every man is looking for something to fill this void in their lives. That is, they know that there is a void that needs to be filled, yet they do not know that only the living waters from the fountain of living waters will satisfy that longing and thirsting deep in their soul and spirit. Therefore, they're vainly trying any and everything to find satisfaction. All members of Adam's race have a longing and thirsting deep within their being, which is a longing to personally fellowship with God, their Creator and Redeemer. It is a simple fact that only God can satisfy this craving. Consider two quotations from David as examples. In the 42nd Psalm, in verse 1, it says, "As the hart, or the deer, panteth after the water," and the idea is water-filled brooks, "so panteth my soul after thee, O God. My soul thirsteth for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God?" Again in the 63rd Psalm in verse 1, he said, "O God, thou art my God. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee. My flesh longeth for thee, in a dry and thirsty land where no water is." In conclusion for today's section, let's note three facts. David recognized the problem, David understood the solution, and David sought to drink from the satisfying fountain to take care of that problem.